let's make some sourdough together. I am in no means, by no way, a sourdough expert. I am not even somebody I would consider to be a sourdough novice, but I've recently started taking it up. It's much easier than it seems, and it's far less intimidating. So if I can do it, you can do it. Let's try and make it together. I normally make my sourdoughs on Sunday, and today's Monday. I did get 2 loaves done yesterday. I'm baking them today, but I wanted to go ahead because I have a lot of starters, so I figured I'd make an extra one and take some to my neighbors. So I have a cookie butter loaf in the oven right now, and then I have a regular loaf on the counter that I'm going to bake after that. So I'm going to show you guys how I make my loaves, and then I'm going to bake that loaf and show you guys how it turns out. So first things first, and again, this is how I do it. There's a million different ways. I've yet to find one that's wrong. This is just what works for me. So first thing, I'm going to take 100 grams of active sourdough starter. So this is what my sourdough starter looks like. That might be too much. 98, almost perfect. It's like a challenge. That's too much. Okay. Okay, so we need 100 grams. I'm sitting pretty at 102, so we're not gonna mess with, not gonna attempt to faint. And then next up, you need 325 grams of water. I prefer to use warm water. Do whatever your heart desires. So we need 325 grams. $327, almost perfect. Okay, and then I prefer to mix my sourdough starter and the water together before I add the rest of ingredients. That's just what I prefer to do. I don't know if it actually does any kind of benefit other than that's just how I like to do it. So mix that up good and well. Okay. Next up, we're gonna zero this out. We're gonna add 10 grams of salt. I just use regular table salt. We're not fancy over here. 10 on the dot. Okay, and then next up we're going to use 475 grams of bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour. I prefer to use bread flour. I use King Arthur brand, and that's what this is. So we're going to put 475 grams in here. Too much. 477, so we are set. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little sourdough spoony thingy, and I'm going to mix this together until it's just shaggy. I don't like to overmix mine. I just like to get it just enough together. And I'll show you guys what shaggy means in a second. Okay. Scrape the outside of the bowl. Okay, so this is what a shaggy loaf looks like. Normally I do use a glass bowl, but since I made sourdough yesterday, mine are all in the washer, so we're using my Pioneer Woman plastic bowl. Okay, so this is what I leave mine looking like. So now I'm going to put a lid on this loosely, and I'm going to let it set for an hour, and then I'm going to come back and do stretch and folds, so check in with next step. It's been 1 hour, so we're going to go through and do our first round of stretch and folds. This is what my dough looks like. So still shaggy, but closer together. And for a stretch and fold, I'll lower my phone so you guys can see. Okay, so for stretch and fold, you're literally just going to take clean hands. You're going to grab one side of the dough, pull it up. You might have to bounce it a little bit because it sticks to the bowl. And fold it in on itself. Then turn the bowl quarter of a turn. Do the same thing. Stretch it in on itself. Third, go up, stretch it in on itself, and finally the last side, stretch it in on itself. So now I'm going to put my lid back on this bowl. I'm going to wait 30 minutes, and I'm going to do another round of stretch and folds. It's been 30 minutes. We're going to take our lid off, take our clean hands, and do another round of stretch and folds. So we're going to do one side, push towards the middle, quarter turn, other side, squish to the middle, quarter turn, to the middle, quarter turn, and there we go. So now it's starting to form a ball in the middle. I'll probably do one more round of stretch and fold, see how it looks from there. So we'll be back in 30. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to do our last round of stretch and folds. Turn it a quarter, pull up, push to the middle, turn it a quarter, pull up, push to the middle, last one, pull up, push towards the middle. So now it should be a pretty sticky ball in the middle of your bowl. I'm going to put my lid back on, and now I'm going to let this sit till tonight and try and get it to raise to twice its height right now, twice its size. I am going to put it on top of my oven because my oven's still a little bit warm from when I cooked my last loaf, and that'll help it grow a little faster. And then tonight I will put it in one of the wicker bowls. I don't know what they're called, a bon ton or whatever, and I'll put it in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll put it on the counter and bake it. Ignore the kids screaming. Okay, so my oven is preheated to 475 degrees, and this is a loaf that I made yesterday. I cold proofed it overnight, and I've let it set at room temperature for about 2 hours. Made it exactly the same way as I made the loaf in the beginning of this video. And I preheated my Dutch oven in the oven. Mine is not cast iron. You don't have to have a super fancy, expensive Dutch oven to do this. Mine's from Walmart. It's Pioneer Woman. Take your piece of the parchment paper, crinkle it up. It goes better in the pan this way. Push it into the bottom of your pan. Careful, your pan's hot. And then take your little silicone bread thing, put it on top of your bowl, and flip. Oops, I knocked that right off the hot pad. Okay. Flip. Should come right out. Looks like this. I'm going to put it directly into my hot cast iron skillet. Not cast iron skillet, sorry, fibbed. My Dutch oven. Now I've got my bread lamb. I'm not an artist, so I'm just going to do a little like half moon shape on one side and then some little dashes on the other. Okay. Now I've got some ice cubes here. I'm going to put those underneath the parchment paper. I feel like this helps keep the bread moist while it's cooking. Just 4 or 5. Push all the paper into the middle with your heating pad, into your Dutch oven. Now I'm going to pop this in the oven at 475 for 25 minutes, and then after that I'm going to lower the temperature to 425, take the lid off, and bake for another 20 to 25 minutes. I will show you guys what it looks like when it's done. It's been 25 minutes, so now I'm going to lower the temperature of my oven down to 425. I'm going to remove the lid from my Dutch oven, and I'm going to put my bread back in there to cook for another 20 to 25 minutes. All right. It's been 20 minutes at 425. I'm going to take my loaf out. I'm going to wait about 10 minutes with it in the crock, and then I'm going to put it on a cooling rack. So I just transferred her to the cooling rack. The ear did get a little overdone, but that's okay. We can cut that off. Overall, she looks pretty good. And now we will let her set at room temp until she's completely cool, and we'll cut inside and see what she looks like.